Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So as you've seen from the title, I decided that I would do a video of my husband's fragrances. As you can see, it's going to be quite a short video because he doesn't have that many. He's really not into fragrances whatsoever. It's just not an interest for him. So yeah, his interest in fragrances is very limited. I think he's more interested in his rubber ducks, which are themed, and one of them is obviously Wookiee from Star Wars. The other one is Spock from Star Trek. He was wearing Fahrenheit, that's the only fragrance he had. And honestly, it was about 20 years old. It was off. It smelled absolutely vile. And I don't remember Fahrenheit smelling like that, like rancid vinegar. And he went mental because I threw it out. He said, no, it's supposed to smell like that. No. Well, you're not having it. As simple as that. So he now has this handful of fragrances, and he does enjoy them, but he isn't someone that's going to worry about fragrance. He will just pull anything out of there and just spray it on no matter what the season is, the day, the occasion. This is quite an impromptu video. I've got nothing prepared. I don't really have much background with these fragrances. I haven't looked into the notes and I haven't really had too much experience with them. So this is going to be quite a limited knowledge of each one, but I'm going to just go through them anyway. So let's start with the one at the back on the right. This is by Marks and Spencer's. This is called Leather, as you can see. And he really does not like this. And actually, I don't really like this on him. But the reason I bought this for him is because my hairdresser was wearing this one day. And my hairdresser's got impeccable taste in fragrance. And he smelt amazing. And I just said to him, obviously, what are you wearing? I need to get my husband that. And he told me it was Leather by Marks and Spencer's. So I bought the bottle. And it just doesn't smell anything like how it did on my hairdresser. And I know that fragrance can vary and, be different on different people, but the difference is so extreme. I wonder if I even bought the right one, but it was definitely Leather that he told me to buy. Oops. And obviously, I like leather in fragrance, but this one's just a bit sharp and a bit rancid without having any development or any depth. So Chris doesn't like it, and I don't particularly like it, but I don't really want to just get rid of it, and it's just sitting there as part of the decor, so I don't know what we're going to do on that one. We're going to talk about a very rare fragrance, one that nobody's ever heard of, and well, it's the first one I bought him that I felt was really hip and really cool. It's the elusive Sauvage. This is the EDP, I believe. Now, I bought this back when I was first getting into fragrance. I was on the hype train. Well, it was the one everyone was talking about, and let's be honest, Johnny Depp was wearing it, so that was good enough for me. It's very mass appealing, as you know. I believe it's ambroxan heavy. I mean, it just smells like a fresh, clean, sparkling, expensive shower gel. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. He loves this one. I mean, he really, really loves this one. He's not into fragrances, and for him, this ticks every box, and he'll wear this every day if I didn't put it at the back, or if I just didn't complain that he is not wearing some of the other ones that I actually prefer. It's a shower, not a grower. But then I went off it. It just suddenly was too much. It was too strong. It was too typical. You know what I mean? And I don't think it suited him. I don't think he's the character for this fragrance. That's when I started pushing others on him, because I think it was more just me trying to get away from Sauvage. In hindsight, I wish I'd bought him Bleu de Chanel. I realise I prefer it, although they do sort of go in the same direction. Chanel just seems a bit classier, a bit more classic, and I think it'd be more him. You do it, I'm trying to film. You're making all this fuss at the door. Why do you do this when I'm filming, eh? Why? Just why? So as you can see, we've got two from Hugo Boss here, but the first of the two that I bought him was actually the Tonic at the back, and I was looking for something fresh for him because we're coming into the warmer months and he was still pulling for Sauvage. So as you can imagine, I was getting a bit sick of it by then. Watching a lot of videos, I watched George the Apprentice, I watched Chris from Fragmental, I've watched all the classics to get a good idea of what I thought was a good, solid summer fragrance. And of course, light blue always kept creeping up. Ended up buying this one for him, and I actually really, really, really love this on him. I don't think this is your typical aquatic scent, although it does obviously live in that category. There's something very aromatic and creamy happening in here while still remaining very fresh and oceanic, but it's not a typical blue sort of fragrance, if you know what I mean. And I think out of all the fragrances he's got, well, no, it's a bit of a big claim. I do think this is one of my favourites he wears. I think it smells beautiful. It's very classy. and he actually loves it. So that's the one he's worn the most, and it just suits him. But this is a fantastic offering from Boss for summer, and I think it does give Light Blue a run for its money. I think this is very underrated. So that's a winner in his little collection. So his next edition was Boss Absolute, and this was a Christmas present. I was looking for something that was classy, a little bit unusual, not a typical run-of-the-mill fragrance. Just something elegant, classy, but still strong, or something that made you feel like you wanted to cozy up, you know, in the colder months. And I actually went into Boots one day, and there was about 3 from this range, or 4. I had no idea what they all were like and how to tell them apart, and I got the sales lady to just get all 4 of them out, and I was spraying them, and I was there for ages. In the end, I went for the Absolute because there was something just definitely distinctly different, cozy, delicious and sexy in this one. And it has the Mannequini fruit, I think it is. It's a fruity, rich, almost like a boozy, fruity, rich, powdery scent, if you can imagine that. It's so cozy and comforting, and it's just really sexy, you know, cuddle up in the winter way. I wanted to buy him a boozy scent, something with like a whiskey or rum. And I've looked at a few, but this one, although it doesn't contain a boozy note, I remember that, it has a boozy quality to it. And I think if you like your amber, and I think if you like a boozy, not too beastly fragrance, but something cozy and classy, check this one out because it's bloody nice. There you go, it's focused. It's a nice bottle, it's a nice presentation, and I think it was the perfect scent to buy him for Christmas. So next, shining away and trying to still focus here, is obviously this Tom Ford Ombre leather. This is about as, I think, as high end as it's going to get in his collection. I bought this really because I really love the fragrance. I was having quite a moment myself with Tom Ford fragrances, and I just wanted him to have one, and he wasn't going to get a private blend because he doesn't care enough to have one. This is about the next best thing. I mean, this is good enough to be a private blend. I think this smells as good or better than a lot of the leather private blends. It's incredibly bright, it's fresh leather. It's that fresh, vibrant, piercingly sharp leather, but there's a creaminess to temper the sharpness. It's very loud in a good way, like it really notices. This suits him. I find it just classy. If we ever, on the rare occasion, go out for dinner, this is the one I'll push for him to wear. This one I'll probably go like this and maybe hide it at the back and be like, yes, this one's due to be worn today. He prefers Sauvage, he just does. 5 humble bottles of fragrance, bless him. However, we do have a few honourable mentions. There's a few that Chris does enjoy that he hasn't got a full bottle of. Now this sample sitting here was courtesy of Tonic from Fragdicted. He very, very kindly sent me a sample of Zaharoff from the very lovely George. Lovely guy, what a sweet hearted and talented guy, and this is the fragrance that he created. So that's Zaharoff, and I need to respray this. Chris really likes it. Is it an aquatic? I think it has got a lovely fragrance that would be very mass appealing. I think it's just such a well done fragrance. It's like, no, it's not like Sauvage, but it's going in that direction. However, it's more aromatic and there's a lot of sweetness compared to Sauvage. And I think this is a much more appealing version. I think you can smell a niche quality in here. There's a beautiful balance in here. I love the sweetness combined with the aromatic quality. If I told all this to Chris, he'd probably fall asleep. But he knows he likes it, but he doesn't need to know why. Another thing I want to buy him, which he hasn't tried yet, to be fair, actually, but I really, really love this, and I'd love to smell this on him. And he actually does trust me now to choose things for him. So this is a sample that was sent to me courtesy of Barry from Scentualise. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this too focused because I'm using one hand. Hang on. It's Ormonde Man. I happily wear this. Obviously, it doesn't matter what they market fragrances towards. It doesn't matter, because if you like something, you should buy it. The only reason I haven't bought this for myself is because it's very similar to one I already have by Ormonde Jayne called Privé. This one is similar, but just slightly warmer and creamy. And it has that, I don't think there is nutmeg in here, but it has that nutmeg quality that I love in Privé. It has that subtle aromatic vibe, and I just love this so much. So I'm definitely going to get a bottle of that for Chris. The last honourable mention actually is one of my own, and it's one that he really loves from my collection, and it's hiding down the bottom here, and it is by Tom Ford, and it's fucking fabulous. I wish I could rebrand this, rename it Creme de Sage or Creme de Suede, because it summarises this scent. This scent makes me think of Campbell's soup. You know, you get that really creamy cream of something. It kind of gives me that vibe. This is a leather fragrance. It has a very lovely note of sage running through it. There's a lot of tonka in here. I've said how much I love this one. I haven't reached for it this year so far. You almost get a slight pencil shaving vibe in here as well. It's a creamy, very, very creamy leather, which isn't the most dominant note, but it's sitting on a bed of leather, which is incredibly well done. And you've got a creamy sensation with sage, almost going in a white chocolate direction. But this suits Chris. It sits really well on him. He smells divine wearing this. So that kind of completes this rather small roundup of fragrances that are either in his collection or those which he has an interest in. So a bit of a random one today, but there we go. So that's his little collection. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care, guys, and I will see you on my next one. Over and out.